Good morning, Quilt Roadies. Welcome to my beehive away from the beehive, my mobile beehive. So today, let me just say, this is not a tutorial because that would mean that I would actually know what I was doing each step of the way. For me, it's a journey, and I know some people don't like that word, but let me tell you, it's definitely a journey for me. So today I am making some project bags, and I am making them for friends, and I'm going to let you watch me make them. I am not going to teach you how to make them, but what I'm going to show you is that you can make them. If I can make them, anyone can make them. So I went on to the Moda Bake Shop tutorial, and I will link that below and use their tutorial. Now, granted, their tutorial uses one of the fabrics is their charm packs, and I did not do that. I used a solid piece of fabric, but I used all of their directions, which were very clear, and for a couple of project bags that I attempted, I had wanted a larger size, and so all I did on their site was increase the cut size by 2 inches, and that made a larger project bags for those bigger projects that we have. Now these project bags, I like them because they have a vinyl front, and you can kind of see what's in them. Because you need a bag that you can see stuff, because let me tell you, it has taken me literally an hour to get set up to video this process. And the reason is because I didn't know where I put everything. I now realize that what I need is a box that has all of my sewing machine tools. I brought my sewing machine, and I brought a zipper foot, but I couldn't find the zipper foot for about 20 minutes. I remember putting it someplace safe, but it was in a box. It would have been better for me to have a mobile sewing box instead of, but I give myself a break. When we decided to hit the road, it was like the day before. I barely had time to pack. And so I can't find the rotary cutter. I've looked everywhere. I know I had a new rotary cutter to bring with me, but I can't find it. I've looked everywhere. So that meant, well, first of all, I had cut out all of the project bag fabric pieces by the sizes that the Moda Bake Shop said to cut them. So I would have them ready to go. But I forgot to cut out my batting. And so this morning I was going to cut out the 14-inch square batting, and I couldn't find the rotary cutter, so I did it the old-fashioned way. I took my rulers and a Sharpie pen, and I drew a 14-inch square and cut it out with my Kai scissors. So this is the way quilters used to do it. They didn't have rotary cutters. So it can be done, but I really want to have a rotary cutter, so I might have to go buy one if I don't find that one. Well, I hope you're going to hang in there with me. I hope you're going to be fearless, because you got to be to hang around here. I mean, it is crazy. This is a little Janome gem that I have had for years, but I have not used it in, well, I think I used it once in the last year at a retreat. I made some napkins, but I need that sewing machine tool, because now, well, luckily I don't have to unscrew this screw for a different, I'm not quilting per se. Well, I am kind of, but I don't have a quilting foot with me, and I don't have a screwdriver, so I got a butter knife. Yeah, because G's not here. He would have a screwdriver I could use, but we are so happy they finally got the parts in for Penny. So he's at the Camping World Service Center getting Penny fixed, so we can start traveling out a little bit. So I have my butter knife, I have my Kai scissors, I have my beautiful pin cushion, and then I brought thread. What I didn't bring though was bobbins. So the bobbin that was in there had navy blue thread, which was not going to work. So I spent 5 minutes unwinding that bobbin so I could rewind it with this thread. Oh, life is an adventure, isn't it? I realize that there are some things that are going to be more challenging here. I want to move on with the Tannenbaum, but I do not have a design wall, nor do I have even a space to even use for a design wall. So it's going to mean I either lay it out on the bed or I lay it out on the floor. And the floor is not an option because it's so small in here that how would we get through to anywhere? The bed is an option, but it just constantly means I have to get up, you know, every step. But maybe I should consider that good exercise. So I'm trying to figure that process out. The biggest challenge for us right now is Wi-Fi. It has been a struggle. Literally on my other channel, Stitch Roadies, it took over 36 hours. I mean 36 hours to upload one video. And I know there are other options, but we already pay for a hotspot, but once it only takes 2 upload videos to use up the data. And this is supposed to be fun, so we're trying to figure out, we're not a professional operation here. We're just a man and a boy and a girl who want to document their life in a way that we can share it with others. And so we're not wanting to spend more money to invest on more data. We already pay Verizon a small fortune every month. We have our own, I know this sounds a little bit of a whine, but we have our own lives and our own dreams and our own wants to do, and sitting at a Starbucks to upload a video is not one of them. So we're still trying to figure out, it may mean that we have fewer videos out when we are on the road. Since it takes so long to upload, which I find somewhat sad, because I know you're all waiting for Tannenbaum, you're all waiting for Eastmoreland. I so want to do some Sue Spargo stitching. I want to do some buttermilk basin stitching, but it's frustrating to do it and know that it can't upload for almost 2 days, which means when we do upload that, G can't use his laptop because it's in the upload process. So we haven't figured it out yet, but we're still working on it. And as of last night, I thought, well, maybe if we only get a video out every week and it takes 2 days to upload it, maybe that's okay. We never have had a schedule. It's whenever the desire moves us. So I am not sure yet how we're going to be tackling that. So just so you know that today, what is today? Today is Wednesday, January 15th. So we'll see how long it takes to get this video online. Yeah, it is a challenge. But I have exciting things in the future and I really want to share them. I am flying to Ontario, California to go to the Road to California, which I have never been, but I'm meeting some friends there and I have only heard spectacular things about it and I'm very excited, very excited. And then after that, I'm heading to Cave Creek to visit Old World Quilt Shop and hopefully get over to Mesa to the Attic. And then I start Sue Spargo's class. So the sand dollars. And my sand dollars are all attached and down. Let me see. Hold on a second, I'll go get them. Yeah, so here they are. They're all ready for their pretty stitching. And I'm excited about that because rarely have I been this prepared. Yeah, rarely have I been this prepared. So that's going to be fun. And I hope to be able to do some videos. I know there won't be videos the week of my Sue Spargo class because G and I won't be together and to talk about how to edit and upload that. But it'll be, you know, you'll get to see it. I am definitely going to share it. So I am now going to start my project bags. So my project bag, I have cut out some absolutely adorable fabric. I have some bee fabric, you know, the bee fabric, I made another one, I made a big one for me out of that. And then I love this scissor fabric. And know that there are all kinds of tutorials out there on making these project bags, and they are all a little bit different. I started out with this free download on Motivake Shop, and it worked for me, and so I'm continuing to do it. It uses a binding as a finish, and some people don't want that extra step. They want to bring the back to the front. I kind of like that third color in there, so it's all preference. It's all preference. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to take my first set and I'm going to iron it with my fusible batting. I cut my fusible batting out. So so I have that fabric and I have this fabric. So my ironing station is over across the kitchen, so I'm going to turn the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Come along. So as you can see, my iron is next to my coffee pot and my toaster. Let's see if I can get that a little bit better focused for you. And I use this Hobbs heirloom fusible, and this is a baby quilt size, and I buy the small ones to use for other projects. So I got my iron, and this is a Panasonic cordless iron, and I've said it over and over again that I love it, and the reason being is that I don't have to deal with the cord in small places, which was in the camper. You just have to remember to redock the thing. Okay, so let me just look at this writing. Yep. And I've centered my batting, fusible batting, and I made sure that my fabric is all set. And now I'm just going to fuse the pieces together. Now, I was contacted by Hobbs, and they said that you need to use a dry iron to use this fusible. And I suspect that they know what they're talking about because they made it. I have always steamed the heck out of the thing. So I'm going to use a dry iron and see how that works. I just love this bee fabric. And one of the readers told me about some new bee fabric, absolutely adorable, on connecting threads. Oh, so much to love. Now the reason I use this fusible is because I don't want a pin. You know how in the old days when you went to quilt your quilt, it had a ton of pins and they were all supposed to be like a fist width apart? I am so over that. So I've got my pieces together. Now for energy saving, I'm going to turn my iron off, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to just kind of do, not heavy quilting, but maybe just, in fact you don't even have to quilt it, but I might run a couple lines down here and get that done. So let's go back to the sewing machine. I have my 1/4" foot on here. I really wish I had brought a walking foot, but I didn't. And I'm thinking that 1/4" bar is going to be a pain. So I'm going to just change it to the zipper foot because, yeah, I have a zipper foot. Because it'll just glide over the top. And this, why do I not know where this is? Oh, there it is. You can tell I haven't used this machine in a long time. So I'm going to just use my zipper foot because it'll just go over the top for my quilting. You know, we're very, very flexible. Of course, what I'm looking for is a pair of glasses. So I am going to find some glasses. You would think in a little place like this that there would be glasses everywhere. I mean, it's like, oh, there they are. They're buried under my sand dollar sample that I threw over there. Okay. So I am just going to go basically from corner to corner without any, boy, I'm having to relearn how to use this machine. I'm not even going to mark it. I'm just going to. And I wonder, I'm just going to make it almost like a basting stitch. Freaked out because I just realized that I'm lucky that I didn't adjust my needle position and it didn't hit the foot, because that's the other thing I need is some replacement needles for my machine. So next time I am at the quilt shop, I have to get, there's a couple things I have to get. Yeah, I miss my thread cutter. So I just kind of, I just kind of did an X just to hold it together and make it where it doesn't peel apart or something, So now I need to, which is great because I already have my zipper foot on. We are moving to the next step. So I'm going to pause the video while I get organized. Well, I have been busy. So what I have done, and again, I am not giving you all the dimensions of everything because you can just go on the Moda Bake Shop and look at their free tutorial. I'm just showing you my process. So I realized that I had 4 bags here, and I was able to cut them all out after I fused my batting, and I used that Hobbs fusible batting. And let me tell you, last week I got an email from one of the senior advisors for Hobbs, and I guess they had watched my video from like a year or so ago on the Hobbs batting, and they said they developed a product that you don't need steam for to make it adhere. You need to use a dry iron. And so she was just giving me that piece of information because on my video I steamed the heck out of it. So I thought I would try it here, and I'm not sure if it's because of the climate I'm in or what, but when I took my batting and I fused the 2 pieces of cotton with the batting with a dry iron, and I picked it up to bring it over here to sew it, the one piece came totally off, and I was using a hot iron. So I took it back and I steamed the bejeebies out of it, so and it stuck. So I'm wondering if it has to do with the climate, that in certain climates it's not going to stick as well, because I know that people have had issues with all the different types of fusibles out there, and or if the scientist who developed this is not a quilter. I have no idea, but I steamed mine just to let you know. And then I cut it down to the size that the tutorial on Moda Bake Shop told you to cut it to. And I just did a simple cross hatch on the layered piece. Then the next step is they tell you to cut out 2 pieces, and this is for your these are your zipper pieces. And there's one wide one that you press in half, and then there's a skinnier one that you press in half, and then you open it up and you press the fabric to the center. And this is the piece, this smaller piece is the piece that the vinyl sticks in. So that is my next task, is to sew the vinyl on. And the way you do this, and I buy a medium kind of grade. I don't like the light grade. I think it's gonna rip. But the heavier grade, I'm not fond of that either, so I buy the middle of the road grade. And you slip your vinyl into this little slot here of the folded fabric, and then you're going to just do a 1/4 inch seam twice. I do an 1/8 on one, and then move my piece over so that I can do the next one. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm kind of doing it like, and I keep tapping the side edge to make sure that that vinyl's tucked way in there. But I like to do like several at one time, you know, like you got a workshop going on here. And so I'm going to make sure that and pinning, you have to be careful pinning vinyl because it makes a hole in your vinyl, so you don't want to pin it where it's going to show. And let's see if that's going to even move here. Yeah. I had to pull it a little bit because this sewing machine isn't like the one at home. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I think if I had a choice, I would use a walking foot for this part, but since I don't have one, I have to kind of help it along. I forgot that this machine has a needle down position. Oh, that didn't work. That turned a little bit. I don't like the way that looks, so I'm just gonna pick that little bit out. The rest of it looks okay. It's just at the very end. And that's the benefit of doing this on your, if I had a walking foot with me, I would do a walking foot because it will move along. The vinyl will move along much easier. So I'm just going to pick out this and try to get it to lay a little bit better. Ellie, of course, barks at dogs that come walking along with her. Okay, so let's give this another shot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the vinyl down. That's what I'm going to do on all of the 4 projects. And then I'm going to go back and do the zippers. And since I do have a zipper foot, I am hoping that the zipper on this sewing machine. The zipper will go in better. There it goes. Oh, I wish I had a thread cutter. Okay, so I got my vinyl on there. So the vinyl, and so the zipper is going to be attached on this edge. But I got my vinyl tucked into my piece of fabric. So now I'm just going to keep doing the vinyl, and then I'll bring you back for the zipper. Well, I've been working away again, and I have made my little piles here, and they are all ready for the zipper to be put in. But unfortunately what happened was I couldn't find the zippers. It's where my rotary cutter is, I'm sure, sitting at home on a bench waiting to be loaded into the van. So when G got back, yes, Penny's all fixed, he took me over to the Quilters Market for a quick visit for me to get some zippers. And they didn't have all the colors. They had a lot of zippers, but not necessarily the colors I wanted, so I got the closest color or a complementary color of zipper. And here's my pile, 4 project bags there. And so I'm going to sew my zipper. Ooh, 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 ooh. That just sounds so. Of course, first I need glasses to make sure that I can see. Ugh, it's like chaos around here. You know, for a little place, it seems I'm misplacing something always. Oh, there they are over there. I got hungry, so I got my bowl of edamame. I'm an edamame freak from Trader Joe's, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. They look like little pea pods, but they sure are good. So I'm ready to sew a zipper. Now, the vinyl that I had from home was, I got it at Joann's, and it was the medium grade. Or no, I got it at Hobby Lobby. But I didn't have enough, and one of the subscribers pointed me in the direction of Walmart. And there's a Walmart not very far from us. So I went there, and sure enough, they had 3 grades of vinyl. And I chose the medium grade. But it's interesting because the medium grade at Walmart was a little bit heavier than the medium grade at Hobby Lobby. But it all worked. So I got my piece. I'm going to start with the piece that I sewed the vinyl onto. And then I'm going to put my zipper, and I'm going to kind of center my zipper, because you can, I'm going to put that end piece off of the edge, because you can cut this zipper once it's sewn on here. And so I'm going to sew my zipper on. For you zipper professionals, this is a piece of cake. Or for your zipper newbies, I might be frightening you. And what I do know, yeah, there we go. So I kind of line up my zipper, and I give myself about 1/8 of an inch or so. I don't butt the edge of my project bag right up to the teeth of the zipper, but fairly close. And I kind of unzipped it a little bit to make it kind of run smoothly, and then let's see what happens. The thing that I'm noticing about this machine, which is disturbing to me, let's see, is that the feed dogs don't really grab. It looks like, let me see, yeah, they're coming up. So I'm going to have to help it a little bit. There it goes. I guess it just needed a little help. First time I ever used a zipper foot was on a project bag. So now that I'm kind of part way down, this is just for me, I zip the zipper back up to get that zipper pull kind of out of the way. I got my needle down so I could do that. There we go. And then it makes it a little bit smoother. I need to nope. Oh, that was not it. It's interesting to learn a whole new machine. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is turn it off, turn it back on. There we go. To know how the machine works. I know how my machine at home works, but this one's a little bit different. And the thing I have had to figure out is that this vinyl is a little bit on the grabby side, and so it wants to stick to the top of my table. Oh, this is working so much better. So you see, if I can do it, you can do it. There we go. Perfect. So one side of my zipper is in. Yay. See? And now let's do the other side. So what I'm going to do is line it up again. I'm going to unzip it part way down. And I'm gonna just kind of eyeball and make sure that my two sides kind of line up somewhat. Bump it up against the edge a bit. And I think there's a way to move that over. Let's see here. No. Well, that would be the first thing you should do. So this is why this is not a tutorial. It's not a tutorial because what I'm showing you is even when you don't know what you're doing, you can make it happen. So I'm just going to go the other way. I know that there's something on this machine. I'm going to kind of roll this vinyl up a little bit. There's something on this machine that makes that go over, but I really can't find it. Oh my God, I know there's some of you out there that are just screaming at me. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to line it up again. And then I'm going to sew the other side of the zipper. I'm going to roll this up just to kind of help it a little bit. I feel like I'm in one of those processes where you should stick your tongue out. Well, that's working. Now I'm unzipping the zipper a little bit. I want to get it past where my presser foot is. Do I look like I know what I'm doing? Oh, I feel so bad for you. I'm turning this around so I can grab it from this side. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's see. I'm going to push that zipper. I want to get it past the well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to put my needle back down. Perfect. That worked perfectly. And you know what that means? The zipper's in. Look at that. The zipper is in. The important part, the really important part, is that you want to trim off this zipper, but you don't want to do it you know, with the important part of the zipper, the pulley thing, is doesn't go past where you cut it off. So that's important. And then we're going to look at our See, this is how it's going to look. I decided I wanted to have my writing on the outside because it'll be all covered up when you put something in the project bag. So that's why. So now all I'm going to do is just sew this together and then put a binding around the edge of it. Stay tuned. You might want to go get a drink. So I went ahead and trimmed up my piece. What I did was I lined up that vinyl and the two edges there that I put the zipper in. And I lined it up with the backing, the quilted backing. And then I trimmed it all up. And the way you have to be careful to trim it is to make sure to put the zipper pull to the center so you don't lose that pull right off of when you're cutting off the zipper. So I moved it to the center, and then I pinned the front and the back together. And the only thing you have to be careful of is when you put a hole through this vinyl to pin it, the hole is forever there. So you want to pin it so that the hole gets hidden by the binding. Now there are tutorials out there where there is no binding. You cut the back a little bit bigger and you bring it to the front, you fold it over and sew it. But I have not tried that. I made my binding. And so now I'm going to be sewing this. Of course, now I have my glasses aren't on my head, right? They've got to be here someplace. I mean, really, it's only not even 6 foot across, maybe. Oh yeah, it's a little bit more than 6 foot across. Okay. So I'm going to put the binding on this, attach it just like I would on a quilt. And the thing that you have to decide is whether you want to hand tack it down on the back or fold it over and then machine sew it. But that's kind of up to you. The other thing is that I wish that I had a walking foot. But maybe I will change this zipper foot off and put my 1/4 inch foot so at least I have a guide. Gosh, the thread is all tangled up in here. Okay, there we go. There. It seems like some days everything is just a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to attach this just like I would a binding on a quilt. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail so I can actually connect it together at the bottom. What I would recommend is that when you go to make your first project bag and do your first zipper, that you do it on your good machine. not try to figure out what's going on here on a machine you haven't used in a while. But it's going to all work. So I just kind of pinch the zipper in together because I don't have it zipped up because I need that zipper foot out of the way. And I go back over that spot where the zipper would come with the backward stitch. That's just me. Robocall. They are not giving up, are they? So again, I'm going over the zipper right now, and I'm going to go back stitch over it. Oh, robocall that left me a message. So I won't bore you with the rest, but I just wanted to show you. So I'm just going to join my two ends just like I would on a quilt. And then I have to pull the binding over just like on a quilt. And you can whip stitch it, or you can machine stitch it down like you would, some people would machine stitch a binding down. And so there is my project bag with the zipper, and put your stuff in there. And as you could tell, this was not a tutorial. This was what I would call, if I can do it, you can do it. So hang in there. We're going to try something new on the next video, but let's see how long this one takes to load up.